We are a few weeks into the NBA offseason now. For the Golden State Warriors, everybody is talking about LeBron James, Anthony Davis, or the Warriors trying to make one last championship push around Steph Curry. But I think there is a much bigger long-term problem for the Golden State Warriors that almost nobody is talking about. And I am referring to Brandin Podziemski. Not because he's a bad player. Actually, I like Podziemski. I have no issue keeping him for this season. As Podziemski enters the fourth season of his rookie contract, he is making roughly $5.7 million. Now, I know Warriors fans have controversial opinions about him, but at this rate, Podziemski is one of the best value contracts on the entire roster, especially when the Warriors are top-heavy with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. The problem isn't this season. The problem is what happens after this season, because the Warriors are about to ask Podziemski to take on the biggest role of his NBA career. And depending on his performance, Golden State may have to give him a massive contract extension. And I'm not sure enough people are talking about how difficult that decision could become. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Yo, what's up guys, Jason here, back with another video. If this is your first time watching, I cover the Golden State Warriors every single day on YouTube, along with other NBA news, trades, and rumors on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. If you're a basketball fan, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because you do not want to miss any of my future upload. Now, let's first look at where this Warriors roster is at today. Jimmy Butler is expected to miss at least the first half of the season while recovering from his torn ACL. Steph Curry is 38 years old, meaning Steve Kerr is almost certainly going to manage his minutes throughout the year. The Warriors also have one of the oldest supporting casts in the NBA. Al Horford is 40 years old, Draymond Green is 36, and Kristaps Porzingis has dealt with injuries throughout his career. And even if the Warriors somehow get LeBron James, this roster is still going to rely heavily on its young players, and that's where Brandin Podziemski comes in. Whether LeBron James joins the team or not, Podziemski is going to have the ball in his hands a lot more next season. He is going to be asked to score more, create more, take tougher shots, and become one of the primary offensive options whenever Steph Curry isn't on the floor. That is a huge responsibility, and honestly, we still don't know if he's ready for it yet. Now, to be fair to Brandin Podziemski, he's done exactly what you would hope a young player would do. He's improved every single season. As a rookie, he averaged 9.2 points per game while shooting nearly 39% from 3. Second season, he improved to almost 12 points per game while shooting around 37% from 3. And then this past season, he took another step forward. He was averaging 13.8 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 3.7 assists, while once again shooting roughly 37% from 3. That's encouraging. His production has increased every single year. And despite taking on a bigger offensive role, his three-point shooting has remained incredibly consistent at around 37%, which is actually slightly above the league average. That's exactly what you want to see from a young guard. So this isn't a video criticizing Podziemski. In fact, I think he's developed really well. But here's where the Warriors' dilemma begins. Improving every season doesn't automatically mean you are ready to become the long-term second or third or even fourth option on a championship contender. Because while the numbers have improved, the eye test still raises questions. As Warriors fans, we've seen plenty of games where Podziemski looks incredibly confident. He is attacking the rim, making the right reads, knocking down shots, looking like a future cornerstone. However, we've also seen games where once defenses start focusing on him, his confidence seems to disappear, he becomes a lot more hesitant on offense, he struggles creating his own shot. And that's been the biggest question throughout his first 3 NBA seasons. Can he consistently create offense when defenses are actually game planning for him? Because there's a massive difference between being an excellent complementary player and becoming someone who can carry the offense whenever Steph Curry sits. Next season will answer that question for us. Now, here's where things become very complicated. Brandin Podziemski is extension eligible. If he has a breakout season, his price will quickly jump up to $20 to $25 million per year, maybe even higher. And honestly, that's where I start getting nervous. Not because I don't like Podziemski, I do, but have we really seen enough to confidently commit that kind of money? That's the question. If the Warriors overpay, that could hurt their financial flexibility, not only during Steph Curry's final window, but even during the beginning of whatever comes after Steph Curry retires. Those contracts stay on your books for years. And here's the difficult part. Podziemski actually has leverage. Why? because the Warriors have put themselves in this situation. Jimmy Butler is injured, Moses Moody is injured, and Steph Curry is getting older. The Golden State Warriors haven't developed that many young talent on the perimeter who are able to step into a bigger offensive role. So whether they like it or not, they almost need Podziemski to become that player. The truth is, they have positioned him as one of the franchise long-term building blocks, even if we still don't know whether he's truly ready for that responsibility. Now, here's one more angle that I don't think enough people are talking about. What if the Warriors decide not to extend Brandin Podziemski? What if they simply are not convinced he's worth $20 or $25 million per year? At that point, a trade becomes a very real possibility. And honestly, this might be when his value is at its highest. Podziemski is only 23 years old. He is still on a rookie scale contract. He has improved every single season. He rebounds well for a guard. He can handle the ball, and he is a slightly above average three-point shooter. Those are exactly the types of young players rebuilding teams love. So if a star player becomes available suddenly, whether it's now, at the trade deadline, or next offseason, Podziemski instantly becomes one of Golden State's most valuable trade assets. Not because the Warriors want to move him, but because he's young, affordable, and still has upside. And that's why this season is so important. If Podziemski proves he can become a legitimate cornerstone, then the Warriors happily give him the extension. However, if he looks more like a high-end role player than a future star, Golden State has a tough decision to make. Do you still pay him anyway? Or do you capitalize on his trade value before committing to a long-term contract? That's a question the Warriors front office may have to answer sooner than people think. In summary, the Warriors do not have a Podziemski problem today. They have a Podziemski evaluation problem. This upcoming season is going to tell us everything. Can Podziemski become the long-term starting guard next to Steph Curry? Can Podziemski consistently score when defense is key on him? And can he become someone the Warriors can confidently build around after Steph Curry retires? Or is he just one of the best role players in the league? Because those are two completely different players financially. And that's why I think Brandin Podziemski might quietly become one of the most important players on the Warriors roster this season. Not because he's their best player, not because he's the biggest name, but because his performance this year could determine if the Warriors commit over $100 million to him over the next 4 or 5 years. And if they get that decision wrong, it could impact the franchise long after Curry's window. So while everyone is focused on LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and blockbuster trades, don't lose sight of what's happening with Brandin Podziemski, because this might quietly become one of the biggest decisions the Warriors front office has to make over the next year. And again, that's just my opinion, and I want to hear from you guys. If you were the Warriors front office, what would you do with Brandin Podziemski? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Alright guys, that's all we got for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on social media, all linked below in the description box. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.